Greetings. This is the Steppen Gamer channel, and I am the Steppen Gamer. Like Hermann Hesse's Steppenwolf, I play alone. Join me as I play traditional multiplayer games solo. Today we're going to be playing the Council of Elrond variant. The Council of Elrond was the pivotal starting point for the Lord of the Rings. That was where they decided as a group that they needed to destroy the One Ring, that was all that could be done about it. So this variant starts after the Council of Elrond. And one of the critical components of this variant is that the Frodo Sam character is an NPC. There is no player playing that token. This is how it works. Frodo and Sam have no assigned player. You place the token in Rivendell. Any other characters may start in Rivendell. They can also start in their typical location. Then add this ability to each player's character card. If you are in the same location as the Frodo and Sam token, you can take it with you as a move action, and also you can perform any of the actions that are listed on that card. And this includes destroying the One Ring. If Gollum is playing, you can spend an action to place Gollum in Frodo's location. And that's it. In this version, nobody gets stuck playing Frodo and Sam along their predetermined path. Now additionally, I'll be playing with the Anytime Ring variant. What that means is that you can destroy the ring at any time. You don't have to wait to get through the other objectives. Whenever you do destroy the ring, the game ends. And you get a point for each objective you've completed. A perfect score is playing at the legendary level with a total of 6 objectives, including the Destroy the One Ring. If you do all that, you get 6 points. These special rules are listed in the description below. Alright, let's give this a shot and see how it works. Okay, here's the board set up. Frodo and Sam are in Rivendell. Let me introduce you to the players. Player 1 has Gimli and Gandalf. Player 2 has Boromir and Merry and Pippin. Player 3 has Éowyn and Gollum. Player 3 has the lowest numbered action card, 3 Elven Rings forged by Celebrimbor. Player 3 will start. Player 3 begins with Éowyn raising 4 Rohirrim in Edoras. Now player 3 has Gollum, and I believe Gollum is going to be getting them to Mount Doom. So player 3 is going to be trying to collect 5 ring tokens. Player 3 has started with 2 in her hand. So Gollum will use his cunning ability to prepare with that Ended resistance card and gain their first token. That ends player 3's turn, and they draw 2 cards. They get a stealth card and the Council of Elrond card. This could be useful for getting characters around Frodo. Now I'm playing at the legendary level because I want a shot at a perfect score of 6. My objectives today are, of course, the Destroy the One Ring, as well as infiltrate Minas Morgul, subdue Umbar, confront the Balrog, attain the blessing of the elves, and lift Shadow from the Dwarven lands. Now it's always important to be completing these objectives as quickly as possible, but at the legendary level it becomes almost frantic. Now my goal is going to be to have Éowyn bring all those Rohirrim down to Helm's Deep, so that I don't have to run down there to keep saving it all the time. And now we draw 2 shadow cards. Using the bottom of the shadow card, we place an army in Umbar, and we shift the eye to Frodo's region. Where is Frodo? Sauron shifts his gaze to Rudar. The first thing he does is he has Gimli to get some reinforcements for Erebor. That uses 2 actions. With his remaining 2 actions, he musters 2 more dwarves. So now they have 4 tokens at Erebor. Player 1 has Gandalf ride Shadowfax to Rivendell. Boom, boom. Hello, Frodo. Player 1 draws a couple cards. He gets Rohan Len's horses and Skies Darken. The shadow grows. The eye is in Frodo's region. I see you. 2 hope is lost. Oh! Under Shadow Darkness, 3 orcs appear in Tharbad. They're probably going to try to hunt down Gandalf, but he left. And the danger intensifies. And now player 1 draws 2 shadow cards. This was the same card that we just drew, but this time we used the top. And 3 shadow forces head into Horondor. Next shadow card has an orc appearing in Nirn. Nirn now has 6 orc armies. And deploy 3 Nazgul from Mordor to the Eye. The Eye is in Rudar. Snap, crackle, pop. And now it's player 2's turn. Player 2 has Boromir, and he raises 4 armies, and minus Tirith. Merry and Pippin use their loyal friend action to gain a friendship token. Player 2 draws 2 cards, gaining resistance and valor. Now player 2 has 2 valor cards. Boromir only needs 2 valor cards to construct a haven. If he travels Dunbar, he can do that and complete an objective. And now the 2 shadow cards. Place 1 army in Dol Guldur and shift the eye to Frodo's region. If it's already there, which it is, roll a search. Now for the search, there are 4 Nazgul in Frodo's region, and that's 4 dice. Player 2 has that heart token that Merry and Pippin just generated, and that can help them. Not a bad result. 2 blanks, recall 1, and lose a hope, and that lose a hope will be cancelled by player 2's friendship token. No hope is lost. And 1 Nazgul flies back to Mordor. The second shadow card, the Wheels of Saruman. Player 3 sacrifices a valor card and a friendship card. And now it's player 3's turn. Eowyn moves to Helm's Deep, hoovering up Rohirrim on the way. She goes to Edoras, Helm's Deep. When in Helm's Deep, she raises the last Rohirrim, meaning everyone is mustered. Then Gollum, being very Gollum-like, uses his cunning and gains another resistance token. He now has 2. Player 3 draws 2 cards, a valor card and a stealth card. I figured out what I want to do with that. 1 action left for Eowyn. She moves to Forz-Vyzan with 3 Rohirrim. On her next turn, she can attack one of these armies, and that will draw the eye away from Frodo's region. That will be maybe her main goal in this particular game. And now player 3 draws 2 shadow cards. Oh, this is not looking good. 1 more in Dunland, fine. But then we move 2 Nazgul closer to Frodo. The closest Nazgul that aren't with him are in Eriador, and they bring the total to 5 in Rudar, looking at Frodo. And 1 more. Oh, it's going to be another search, I bet. Oh, no, move 2 more. Okay, so first of all, you get an army in Rhûn. Rhûn is filling up. Now they have 7 armies in Rhûn. But you know what? Rhûn can have 100 armies as far as I'm concerned, as long as they stay there. And 2 Nazgul move closer to Frodo. Oh, we'll bring 1 from Mordor. And this one from the Misty Mountains has to be the next one to go. Here, they're flying at many levels. And this works alright, because now it's Gandalf's turn. Well, actually it's player 1's turn, who has Gandalf. Gandalf is going to use 2 actions and 2 friendship cards to raise 2 more elf armies in Rivendell. Then, no one is in Eriador. No enemy forces. He gets Frodo out of Rudar. With his 1 action, Gimli will bring a dwarf to the Woodland Realm. As he says, here guys, we're here to help. And player 1 draws 2 cards, gaining resistance and valor. Now they're going to call the Council of Elrond for the sole purpose of bringing Gimli to Rivendell. And then Rohan lends him some horses, because you know what an astounding horseman Gimli is. And he can now travel 3 more times. 1, says hello to Frodo and Sam and Gandalf before stopping at Bree and ending up in the Shire with Merry and Pippin. You know what I forgot to do? The lift shadow from the Dwarven Lands objective requires that a dark forest be placed in the Ered Luin. And every turn at the end of turn in the Ered Luin, during the shadow card phase, at the end of that phase, you do all these combats. So this would have been a combat at the end of each turn. On turn 1, it would have been destroyed. And that's actually pretty ideal because it means it wouldn't have changed much in the game. You know the dwarves of Ered Luin are doughty. Never doubt them. And that ends player 1's turn. The action phase anyway, they draw 2 cards, and they get 2 friendship cards. And now we draw the dark cards. The shadow cards. Dunland to Rivendell. Well, as if there weren't enough bits in Rudar, there's some more. Next card, Dol Guldur to Helm's Deep. A large issuance of orcs out of Dol Guldur into the Gladden Fields. Now we go to player 2. Boromir travels to Osgiliath, South Ithilien. He's bringing armies with him and ending up in Umbar. Merry and Pippin gain another friendship token. That ends player 2's turn. They draw 2 cards, a friendship and a stealth card. They have to lose a card, because they can only hold 7, And player 2 decides to get rid of a friendship card. Gondor needs no friends. Boromir can just order people about. And now they draw shadow cards. Troops head out from Isengard, bound for Rivendell. But look who's at the fords of Isen. 2 orcs attack. That's 2 friendly troops and 1 Dark Force army. Thanks to the valor of Eowyn, the orcs lose 2 forces as well. But that was costly. And the second shadow card, the Drums of War. And Dark Forces swell in Mordor. It's player 3's turn. Gollum uses his special ability in this variant to spend an action and be with Frodo. There's 1 action. Everybody moves, 2 actions. They move to Tharbad, 3 actions. They spend a stealth card to avoid any issue with the orcs. And their final location is in Dunland. Eowyn uses her 1 action to muster some more troops at the fords of Isen. Player 3 draws 2 cards, get another resistance card, and skies darken. You knew it was coming. The shadow grows. Now we're drawing 3 shadow cards a turn. I see you. The eye moves to Frodo's region. Under Shadow of Darkness, and believe me, there's a lot of darkness shadow there, 3 more troops are added to Holland. And then, as always, the danger intensifies. Now unfortunately, we did draw both Saruman and Sauron, so they're back at the top of the deck again. And I'm going to pull Gandalf out of here. I didn't take him, he's going to stay in the Weather Hills. Now it's player 1's turn. Gimli is leaving the Shire and traveling to the Ered Luin for 1 action. He uses 3 action to raise 3 dwarven armies there. With 4 dwarves in the Ered Luin and no enemy armies in Dale, he has lifted shadow from the dwarven lands. Player 1 gains 2 valor tokens. They gain a hope, and they've completed their first objective. Only 5 more to go for a perfect game. And Gandalf moves to Holland to see what all the hubbub's about. Player 1 draws 2 cards. Gets a valor card in Dale, and another Skies Darken card. Alright, the shadow grows, although we're still just drawing 3 shadow cards. Then we have I See You. Man, I was going to get Frodo out of here. I did not get him out of there. Ah! Oh! They lose 2 more hope. It's getting dark here. And 3 more orcs are added to Darwinian. And now we'll do 3 shadow cards. Umbar to Helm's Deep. That card keeps coming up. So the 3 Corsairs from Umbar end in Pelargir. Another Dark Force in Dol Guldur. Shift the eye to Frodo's region. It's there. And roll a search. Alright, I roll a search. Adding 1 die for every Nazgul there. Nope. And 1 die for every Dark Forces in their location. None. An easy search to pass. But Dunland heats up. Next card places an army in Dunland. And then 3 Nazgul. Relocate to Dunland. Snap. Crackle. Pop. The actual wording of that was 3 from Mordor. And then if there weren't enough, which there weren't, you take it from the largest gathering of them, which is of course here. There we have it. And now it's player 2's turn. Now Boromir spends an action, creates a haven in Umbar. Because he's Boromir, 2 valor cards suffice to build a haven. Now Boromir renames Umbar Southport. This is now the most southern port that Gondor controls. As his second action, he moves up to Pelargir. And in Pelargir, as his third action, he gives them what for. There are no Nazgul in Gondor at the moment. 1 Gondorian troop is lost, and 2 Corsairs. We'll say he destroys 2 Corsair ships. He loses 1, they lose 2. He has an action left. He'll roll a die. Yes! Gondor prevails. And then, Merry and Pippin sit in a green dragon and raise friends. Player 2 draws 2 cards. A resistance card and a friendship card. And then they draw 3 shadow cards. Dunland to Helm's Deep. Well, this saves us some trouble. Muhammad has gone to the mountain of Rohirrim. Yorks attack. Poorly. The next shadow card. More orcs invest the strongholds of Mordor. And now the Easterling Wain Riders move from Rhûn towards Minas Tirith. And I'm happy about that because if they'd went north towards Erebor, the Woodland Realm, that would have been problematic. Minus Tirith has Boromir and Gondor. Now we have player 3 with Éowyn and Gollum. Because we can't have Gollum, characters, and armies in the same location without losing hope, Éowyn will run up to Dunland, grab Frodo and Sam, back to the Fords of Isen, thence to Helm's Deep. And with her remaining action, she'll muster the final Rohirrim. Gollum will slink to Fords of Isen. And I should have moved the token into Gondor when Boromir slew all those Corsairs. So I'm doing that now. That ends player 3's turn. They draw 2 cards, a friendship card and a stealth card. And then 3 shadow cards. First shadow card is yet again another army in Nirn. And then 3 Nazgul from Mordor to the Eye. Snap, crackle, and pop. Then we place an orc in Dol Guldur, and we shift the eye to Frodo's region. I tell you, Frodo and Sam show up, and the neighborhood just goes to heck. The last card is the Wheels of Saruman. Player 1 elects to sacrifice 2 friendship cards. Now it's player 1's turn, and player 1 would like to take Gandalf and bring him into Moria, but it requires a friendship token, and he does not have it. So instead, he'll take 1 action and move to the Weather Hills. Then they'll take Gimli, will bring all the dwarves from the Ered Luin down to the Grey Havens, which of course thrills Celebrimbor to no end. That's 1 action. 2, 3, 4. Now together, the 2 of them, on their next turn, can move to Rivendell. There's 3 elves there, and they can attain the blessing of the elves. All they need is 3 friendship tokens. How hard can that be? They're going to need a lot of friendship tokens. It's the lack of friendship tokens that are going to be the problem. But I believe there's a solution because, of course, here are Merry and Pippin, and they're a friendship token factory. So when Gimli passed through the Shire just now, he picked them up. And that ends player 1's turn. Player 1 draws 2 cards, gaining a stealth and another valor card. They now have 5 valor cards. I'm going to say this also. No, I can't do that. I should have not burdened Celebrimbor with all these dwarves and brought them with me. Because then I have a stealth card. Maybe I'll go back and do that next turn. Oh, I hate wasting all these moves. Okay, but ultimately I can take a stealth token and go around this way and get into Moria. 1 thing at a time. 1 thing at a time. And now we draw 3 shadow cards. First shadow card. Place the dark forces in Isengard. And 3 Nazgul from Mordor to the Eye. Well, there are none in Mordor. The Eye is in Rohan. So you take the most numerous area, and these actually each have 3. There's 3 in Eriador, 3 in Yennedraith, and just off the camera to the north there's 3 in Rudar. So we go snap, crackle, and pop. Now you will have noticed I'm not using the plastic bases to elevate the Nazgul. I find that the bases serve to obscure the board in the most maximal way possible. You just put them up this high and then you really can't see. You can't see under them, you can't see past them, whatever. And you're knocking them all over and stuff. It's just easier to put them on the board like this. Alright, next shadow card. Shadow Forces in Umbar. Well, Umbar, courtesy of Boromir, is now called Southport, and it's a haven, so they don't do that. And 2 Nazgul move closer to Frodo. Well, these Nazgul, being party guys, join the rest of their friends in Rohan. And 1 more shadow card. Well, these are all bottom of the card this time. Another orc in Nirn. There are now 9 orcs in Nirn. And 2 Nazgul move closer to Frodo. Well, there's only 1 left in Gondor. So 1 Nazgul leaves Rivendell and starts heading down there. He's in the Yennedraith now. Now there are 6 Nazgul with Frodo. And we're not going to be able to move them till player 3. And this is player 2. We're going to have to go through a whole turn of them. This could get ugly. Boromir and Merry and Pippin. Well, Boromir, I don't need him to do anything critical right now. Merry and Pippin have a lot to do. We're going to keep our eye on the prize. Merry and Pippin and Gandalf go to Rivendell for 1 action. For the second action, Merry and Pippin are going to gain another friendship token. With the friendship token and 2 friendship cards, they're going to attain the blessing of the elves, releasing 3 more elven armies, making them available. And that is our 3rd objective complete. Player 1 and player 2 each have a character in Rivendell. They each gain a friendship token. Then Boromir has 1 action. He's going to spend a friendship card and muster another army in Pelargir. Now I wish some of those orcs in Mordor would come out to fight, because there's only these 2 orc armies left, and when those are gone, every time one of these cards tells us to draw one, we lose a hope. Oh, and we did gain a hope for getting the Friendship of the Elves. Player 2 draws 2 cards. He gets the Orc Infighting event and a Stealth card. Orc Infighting allows me to remove 2 orcs from a location. If I were to play it when I'm ready there, as long as there's no more orcs in Moria, that empties Moria out. And Gandalf in his turn can move down to Moria and make it a haven. That'll gain us 2 more hope. And then Gandalf could meet the Balrog. I might get all 6 of these objectives. This is cool. And now we draw 3 shadow cards. Well, the first one puts an army in Moria. So much for those plans. And then we deploy 3 Nazgul from Mordor to the Eye. There are no Nazgul in Mordor, so where else are they? Well, there's only 3 Nazgul that aren't with the Eye. Snap, crackle, and pop. All 9 Nazgul are now in Rohan with Frodo. Well, we get a break with the next shadow card because it's moving armies instead of the bottom of the card, which could lead to searches. Near Herod to Erebor. The green line to Erebor. This uses the full board. There's Erebor, following the green line down to New Herod. Orcs issue from Dol Guldur into southern Mirkwood. From Dagorlad to the Emyn Wheel. From near Herod to Horondor. And then the final shadow card, back at the bottom again. 1 in Umbar. Well, Umbar is now Southport of Gondor. It's a haven, and that army doesn't appear there. And this is deploy 3 Nazgul from Mordor to the Eye. All the Nazgul are already there. Nothing happens. Boy, are we getting lucky. Alright, player 3, which is Eowyn, who's under all of this, with Frodo. She's going to play a stealth card, so they can move without having to undergo a search. They'll move once to Edoras, twice to Druidon Forest, before ending up in Minas Tirith. And then Gollum is going to use his cunning ability to prepare anywhere, and he'll gain another ring token. Now he has 3. That completes player 3's action phase. They draw 2 cards, getting a resistance card, which is cool, and a Sky's Darkened card, which is less cool. The shadow rate grows by 1, and now we're drawing 4 shadow cards a turn. The next thing that happens is Sauron says, "I see you." We're lucky, we got Frodo out of Rohan, so now the Eye moves to Gondor, and then the danger intensifies. Now there's actually a fair amount of cards in the discard pile this time. We've had a bit of a respite from the Sky's Darkened cards, but now we're dealing with 4 shadow cards. And here they come, the drums of war. There's only 1 orc left. I'll place that in Udun. We needed 2 more. That lowers the hope by 2. This time we do the bottom of the card on the next one. Place an army in Dol Guldur. There are no more armies, so that costs us a hope. We have 1 hope left, and now we roll a search. But guess what? There's nothing there. Boy, we got lucky that time. It was so close. Wow. Umbar is now Gondorian. I don't lose 1 there. I will play this card, now that I can. I'm going to pull 2 orcs out of Moria and draw the next card. I still only have 1 hope. If this next card turns into a search, we might be messed up anyway. No, Dunlin to Rivendell, along the green line. These orcs move to Tharbad. We're still in the game. Player 1 uses Gandalf's 1 action to have Gandalf join his friends in the Weathered Hills. Then from the Weathered Hills, they move through Bree to the Shire, to the Grey Havens, where, at Celebrimbor's request, they take the dwarves and they bring them to the Shire. Their intent is to head eastward and slaughter a bunch of orcs, so we don't have our reserve tray here running out. Then he draws another Valor card and the Gaze into the Palantir event. Since he can't keep it, he plays it immediately. We're going to see that once again, Pippin gazes into the Palantir. Yeah, he goes to Eriador, along with 3 Nazgul, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Player 2. Player 2 has Merry and Pippin travel with their friends to clear all the orcs out of Bree. And the battle begins. First off, they play a resistance card to re-roll this die. Not caring for that result, they play another resistance card. Alright, each side loses 3 armies. That's suboptimal, but at least 1 dwarf army and gets rid of 3 dark armies. That ends player 2's turn and they draw 2 cards. They get a resistance card and a stealth card. And now we must draw 4 shadow cards. First we put a troop in Umbar. Doesn't happen because Umbar is a haven now. Southport of Gondor. The next card has us move from Rune to Minas Tirith along the yellow line. To our advantage, there's nothing actually along that route. There was, but they moved along the green route to the Emyn Wheel. We dodged another shadow bullet there. Next card puts in more orcs in Nirn. There are now 10 orcs in Nirn. 3 Nazgul from Mordor to the Eye. There's none in Mordor, they're all in Rohan. Snap, crackle, pop. And the last card, put an army in near Herod and shift the Eye to Frodo's region. The Eye travels to Gondor, where Frodo is, but other than that, we're doing alright. That's all 4 of the shadow cards. Player 3 is going to have Gollum prepare another resistance card. And now he has 4 resistance tokens. He only needs 1 more. And of course, getting into Mordor, stealth tokens are also very useful, very necessary. He prepares again and gets a stealth token. With his remaining 2 actions, he moves through Helm's Deep to Edoras. Eowyn has 1 action left that she can use. She uses a friendship card and raises another Gondorian army in Minas Tirith. She draws 2 cards. Fortune favors the bold. Look at that. 2 more resistance tokens. And then they must draw 4 more shadow cards. First one they draw is the Wheels of Saruman. Well, player 1 has 5 Valor cards, so they'll discard 2. Next shadow card, Orcs at Isengard. Then 3 orcs from Mordor to the Eye. And this time it's actually Rohan to the Eye. Snap, crackle, and pop. And we have 1 in Umbar, which we don't have to do because Umbar is Haven. But then we shift the Eye to Frodo's region. If it's already there, which it is, we roll a search. Now the search is tense because we only have 1 hope. But we also have some ring tokens which can help us with rerolls. 3 dice. Okay, that one's blank. This one we can ignore if we're in a haven, which he is. He's in Minas Tirith. So he's got 1 more to get rid of. Boromir uses a resistance card and re-rolls that die. Comes up blank. We're good. Whew! That was close. 1 more shadow card. Placing another orc in Nirn. That's 11 orcs in Nirn. With my luck, they're going to end up at Mount Doom just when I need to get there. That's it for player 3. We're back to player 1's turn. Player 1 sees all of the orcs in Holland and knows that they're on their way eventually to Rivendell. His plan is going to get to Rivendell and then hit the orcs. That's 2 actions to Rivendell. Then he'll use a friendship token to muster another elven army in Rivendell. And then they'll move to Holland, their last action. Then Gimli's action will be to attack the orcs. Now they have 3 Valor cards and 2 Valor tokens to affect the outcome here. Let us see what happens. Gandalf uses a Valor token to use his Light and Flame ability. He can change 1 die to whatever he wants. Hey, how about that? Now we look at this pile here. 3 of them are destroyed outright by the dice. That leaves 4. They have 3 Valor cards and a Valor token, getting rid of the 4. That's 7 Dark Forces tokens in 1 fell swoop. In this telling of the story, the great orc destruction at Holland will be recalled as one of the epic battles of the saga. Player 1 draws 2 cards. Skies Darken and a resistance card. First thing that happens is the shadow grows. Still taking 4 shadow cards every turn. Oh, and by the way, that huge battle drew the Eye up to Rudar, which is just in time because second thing that happens is Sauron says, "I see you." And the Eye goes to Frodo's region. Had it still been in that region, that would have cost us 2 hope. That would have cost us the game. Now we add 3 armies to Mount Doom. That is really going to make things hard. Okay, and then the danger intensifies. And the 4 shadow cards are Nirn to Erebor, along the green line. Lots of orcs on the green line. Up to the Old Forest Road, they're getting close. And a huge orc host leaves Nirn and is on the plains of Gorgoroth. Sauron beats the drums of war. The orc forts fill up. Now we're down to 2 orcs. Now we place one in Dol Guldur. Shift the eye to Frodo's region. Well, it's there. So we roll another search. How cool is that? 2 blanks and 1 recall to Mordor. Boy, we are really lucking out on our searches. And now the 4th card. Dunlun to Rivendell, along the Green Line. Well, there are no orcs left along that route because of the epic battle in Holland. Now we go to player 2 with Boromir and Merry and Pippin. Boromir is going to bring all the armies with him to South Lothlorien, to Osgiliath, to Minas Tirith, and then back to Osgiliath. Just to be safe, because you never know. He's going to leave somebody in Minas Tirith. No wait, he takes them all with him to Osgiliath. He leaves Frodo and Sam in Minas Tirith. His intention is to have Gollum come down and join the hobbits and lead them where they need to go. In the meanwhile, he's going to try to burn up as many of these armies, hopefully all of them, as he can on his way to Mount Doom. Because you don't want Gollum and the characters and an army in one area or you lose hope, and we can't lose any hope. Merry and Pippin use a friendship token to bring everyone to Moria. Player 2 draws 2 cards. They get a friendship card and the Eagles. Move 1 character to any location. This could be really useful. We don't really need to move Frodo, but moving somebody else to Frodo's location could be really handy. Alright, now they draw shadow cards. Don't have to place 1 in Umbar. We're using the bottom of the card. And 3 Nazgul go to the eye. And now I've gotten so excited I forgot to move the camera. From Mordor, there's only 1 in Mordor, but the rest will come from Eriador. Snap, crackle, and pop. Then again using the bottom card, the last orc troop is placed in Nirn. Now there are no more here. And 2 Nazgul will move closer to Frodo. There they go. Next card, another one to Umbar. This would be ending the game, but Umbar is a haven now. So that's ignored. Move 2 Nazgul closer to Frodo. So these 2 actually make it in this time. And finally, the last card, we have to add 1 to Near Herod. We don't have 1. So that costs us our last hope. Now we've lost. Ooh, man, I was getting so close. If we count the remaining cards, there are 10 cards left here, which is essentially 3 actions. Gollum would actually get 4 actions left to try to get Frodo into Mount Doom. That would have been very close, very tight. But man, that was fun trying, that was cool. Alright, well, very good game. Now one thing I noticed in playing this game with Frodo as NPC is oftentimes when playing you're not really focused on Frodo, because unless you're playing Frodo, you're doing your own thing, you're just hoping he'll get himself to the ring. Playing this way, making sure you can escort Frodo around where he needs to go is very critical, because he won't get there himself. And in the flavor of the novel, while from time to time Frodo and Sam were alone, most of their actual progress was made while in the company of other characters. I think this variation works very well, and I liked the idea of being able to complete the ring quest at any time. I mean, I guess I could have went there earlier, but I was going for the 6 points possible at the legendary level, because you know, that's my jam. Someday it will happen, and it'll be really cool. Until then, I'm having a heck of a lot of fun trying. And if you were playing with the beginner level and only had 4 Shadow Darkened cards, it would be fun just to see how hard it is to get the ring into the Mordor if that's all you're trying to do. And there you go. If you do it, you win. You get a point. But you could also then try to stretch outside your comfort zone and go, oh, no, I'm going to try to complete an objective. Plus, that's usually the only way you can really gain hope. And if something's happened and you need to up your hope, start completing some objectives. I think that's a good theme for objectives. There are things you can do to increase your hope. And then when you're done, your points as well. Alright, let me know what you think about this style of play and trying this. With this variation, I'm trying to change as little as possible. I don't include a rule unless it's absolutely critical to make the variation work. Stay tuned, I'll try again.